The EP Podcast. Heard everywhere podcasts can be found, and always at theeppodcast.com.
I know I'm supposed to start this episode off talking about snow, because the weather forecast says that on the day this episode drops, there's going to be a ton of snow. Like, I already got an email from the kids' school reminding me what happens when it snows too much, which, by the way, what a bunch of crap. Like, these kids are never getting a snow day again because the pandemic taught the schools how to teach them at home. The joy of measuring the snow through the window or the door and saying, I don't think we have school today, and waiting for your school to be closed has been ripped away from all future generations. But I'll make a bold prediction. I don't even think there's snow on the ground when you listen to this show. I don't believe it. Or it's like a dusting. Because every time you prepare for it, it never really happens. Right now, I either sound like a genius or you're digging your car out listening to me and cursing at me. This episode of the EP Podcast and every episode of the EP Podcast brought to you by the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. Your child's bright financial future starts with learning good money habits early in life. Help them get ahead with a junior savers account from the First National Bank of Evergreen Park. The littlest guy has the junior savers account. He can watch interest get earned on every dollar. In fact, he had interest on his statement. I could show him right on the computer screen the day after his first deposit. Show your kids how fun and rewarding saving can be and set them up for success. Learn more at bankevergreenpark.com/junior or stop in and see them. That's how I do all my banking, in person in that big iconic building at 95th and Pulaski, the First National Bank of Evergreen Park, member FDIC. Ringing in the first month of 12, there's 12 months in 2024 this year, Frank Murray. Is Frank Murray the head, the leader, the person out in front holding the sword, protecting the books over at the Evergreen Park Public Library? How are you?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thanks for that generous introduction there. Never heard that one before.
I must protect knowledge.
That's right.
Learnedness.
The gatekeeper of knowledge. That's right. There we go. I like it.
So, you still got the Christmas decorations up?
You know what?
You don't have them up anymore, do you?
I don't have them up.
When did you take them down?
At my home.
Yeah.
We took them down
before or after New Year's?
After New Year's.
Yeah?
Yeah, that weekend.
The weekend of New Year's, you took them down.
Oh, yes, because I was off on Tuesday, so we took them down on Tuesday.
Oh, wow.
So January 2nd.
Wow.
Yes.
Are you religious? Do you mind if I ask you now? You religious?
Yeah, well, sure.
I mean,
yes.
Okay, but yes. You might not be. You might not be. Like, I mean, like I keep them up. Like, my mother was over today, and she was like, yeah, Christopher.
The Epiphany.
All the way to the Epiphany.
The Epiphany.
So you didn't make it to that.
January 6th, I did not.
You did not make it to that, right?
No.
And then I was like, Father Paul, who pops in here all the time, is always like, Feast of the Holy Family. Like, he adds a couple extra weeks on.
Feast of the Holy Family?
Yes, he throws that in there. Like,
Whoa.
that can come in at like the last weekend of January, first weekend of February, depending on how everything kind of goes. And I like his idea because there's nothing else happening in January. Like, we're February, like, right? I mean, like I'm not a Valentine's Day guy. There's no gift exchanges really that I'm going to deal with. I was never a Valentine's Day guy when I was married. Now I'm definitely not a Valentine's Day guy, right? Like, I'm just not. So, like, for me, it's bleak, it's cold, we're going to get some snow. Mm-hmm. We're going to get those weeks, Frank, where everything is dreary and gray. And I just don't see why everybody's in a hurry to get the lights down, because I think that I get getting the tree down eventually, right? I get that. But a couple of lights on the outside, I'm keeping them up.
Yeah, we didn't do any lights on the outside
till
this year.
June. I'm keeping them up till June.
No.
Yeah. But I'm going to keep them up for a while. I am.
There you go.
You're looking at me like I'm nuts.
No, I think you're totally sane.
Then why aren't yours up?
Because
Is it because you feel shame? Is that what it is?
No, I don't feel shame.
Are you worried that the neighbors are going to look at you weird?
No, we actually didn't have any lights in the outdoors, so I wasn't worried about that.
You didn't put lights outside?
But the inside, we had the Christmas tree and a bunch of decorations, and we had family over for Christmas. We hosted my wife's side.
Did your family wonder why there were no lights outside? Why you were the dark house on the entire block?
No, probably.
Do your kids sit there and say, Daddy, why do the neighbors have a blow-up snowman and we have nothing?
We actually did talk about it.
Yeah?
So maybe next year we might actually put something on.
Wow.
The bushes, the trees, and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll get a little more festive.
There's always that house or two on the block that has nothing. It's the Murray house.
That's the Murray household. Now, the library, on the other hand.
Right. Well, the library was festive.
Decked out, beautiful.
Yeah. How long will those stay up?
That probably till the Epiphany.
Epiphany.
No, that's probably going to be coming down probably in the next week or so.
That would be funny if a government organization was following the Epiphany. The moment you said it, you were like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said it that way.
Non-secular. Separation of church and state.
There you go.
But it does look beautiful. If you have the opportunity, come into the library. Check out, especially the quiet reading room.
Yeah,
it is decked out to the nines. It's beautiful.
Very, very nice. All right, so you got through the holiday season.
Yeah.
You now have the dark, dreary, roughest part of the year, I believe, for the entirety of the Chicagoland area, the northern half of this country, let's say.
January and February.
It is rough. It's bleak, it's rough, it's tough. You have that seasonal affective disorder or SAD. Everybody's just a little sad, right? And so I'm looking for you to cheer us up. What do we have going on? What's the big thing?
Well,
what
Chris,
are you leading off?
Here we go, man. We're bringing it back. The Sip and Sample returns.
Nice.
It's official. Saturday, February 10th from 6 to 9:30 p.m.
And this is sampling restaurants and food along with, I would hope, that you'll have a brewery, winery. Like I would imagine Spoken Vine is going to be there.
Correct.
Right?
Spoken Vine is one of our first part. They were actually the first ones to jump on board.
They were probably waiting for it because they're. I'll give them their plug now here on the show. We'll just do it now.
All right.
They're over at the northeast corner of 95th and Kedzie.
Yes.
And they have food there too.
Right by the library.
And their foods that they have all the wines, right? They have the bottle shop where you can bring everything out. But the food is really good. So I would imagine are they going to do food and wine? Have they told you what they're doing?
Yeah, they're just going to be doing food. They're going to be bringing in food. Yeah.
Not bringing any wine in.
They might have a bottle or two, but
or are you providing wine?
We're providing the wine.
There you go. Okay.
And then we have some other samples. We got a couple brewers that have signed on to participate.
Who are your brewers?
We have Eris.
Eris,
their cider, hard cider.
All right.
And then what's our second brewery? I talked to Open Alcohol. Well, we reached out to Open Alcohol, John Brand. I haven't heard back from him. So we're hoping.
John disappears for a while, and then he pops up out of it. He's running around doing the distributing. So I would imagine you might hear from him. I would imagine you might hear from him. So you have time to find breweries. You need me to help you find breweries, I'll help you find breweries.
You are the man.
They know me. Okay, so we'll work on expanding that.
But in addition to Spoken Vine, Chai Tung's participating, Baracos, Bourbon Street.
Right.
We're actually it's a Mardi Gras theme this year. So Bourbon Street ties in very nicely.
I like that. Mardi Gras is probably, maybe I do enjoy a good Mardi Gras celebration.
Yes.
I do.
And it's right there at the time. And it's actually the day before the Super Bowl too. So a nice little party before the Super Bowl.
Okay.
So it'll be a nice little active weekend for everybody, especially smack dab in the middle when nothing's going on.
When nothing's going on. See, you're finding something going on, and that's what but I'll have the lights down about a week or so beforehand.
There you go. So it'll be perfect. Yeah,
I'll lead right into it.
You'll get your lights down. You'll be looking for a party. You'll come over. We also have Chuck's Barbecue. They're going to be providing some mac and cheese, which everybody loves from them. And
there's a couple of local places I haven't heard you mention yet. And I am curious as to whether or not it's just you're kind of waiting to hear back from them, because I've heard a lot over the last month or so from a lot of different, because I interact with a lot of businesses. I interact with a lot of breweries. I interact with all these people. You know, everybody thinks the pandemic's over and they're all doing well. A lot of places had rough years, okay, because people's habits have not gone back to normal. Like they get their lunch crowd, they get their dinner crowd, and the place is a ghost town in between. And that's not how it used to be. Restaurants open, bars open, breweries open, and they had people all day long. And now it's very, very difficult for them to kind of like do things the way that they used to do it. And I had one person tell me that they lost about 10-15% of just breweries in Illinois that have shut down. And everybody's thinking like, well, it's over. They're still trying to catch up from 4 years ago. They're that far behind by how bad it was. And people's habits have changed. So I would imagine it's hard to commit to events, and that, you know, you're even seeing it as you're putting together this event, right?
Yeah, we normally would probably have at least probably 3 more restaurants and then a handful more breweries participating.
Yeah, it's important. People need to remember it's important. I mean, I understand inflation is up, but it's important if you're looking for something to do. Remember the places that you want to see in a year. okay? Because it does matter. I think it really does. Yeah. All right. The library is going to be here forever, though. So we got Sip and Sample again on what day?
I love that. Saturday, February 10th, 6 to 9:30 p.m. $30 are tickets.
Okay.
You can purchase them online through our website or give us a call.
Possibility this list of things expands as well. These are people that are going to be there.
Correct.
I would imagine it will get bigger.
We're hoping the list expands.
And this is an opportunity to walk around and drink amongst the books.
Correct.
Okay. And meet people. I will tell you this. The first time I ever met Kelly Burke, who's now the mayor, I met her at the Sip and Sample event.
Oh, how about that?
Somebody introduced me to her,
yeah.
And she was standing there, and they told her that I was doing a podcast, and she looked at me like she had no. I spent the evening of that Sip and Sample explaining to then state representative for a little while here, Kelly Burke, and I was sitting there and I was explaining to her what a podcast was and what I was doing, and it was so funny because she was a member of the library board at the time. And that was like why she was there, supporting the library as a member of the library board. And then years later, here she goes and runs for office. Now she's the mayor. She's on the show all the time. But it was the Sip and Sample was the first time I ever met her.
How about that? That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Who knows who you'll meet next time?
My first couple of advertisers came from a conversation at the Sip and Sample the next year. The next year, several different places that were right in the area were all talking with me. And one of them had just started with me. And the other advertiser goes, "Is it working?" And that advertiser said, "Oh yeah, I get people in because of it." And like I walked out of the Sip and Sample, having a couple of glasses of wine, food full, and I made money there. So
That's
I've always
awesome.
liked your
All
Sip
right.
and Sample.
All right,
I've
Chris,
always
so
loved it.
we'll get you-
I've always had a positive experience at the Sip and Sample.
We'll get you in there.
Yeah.
So
No
that's
pressure that I make money and meet important people, but I expect it, Frank.
Well, that's a great, fun success story. But it's an opportunity for everybody, like you said, come in and drink amongst the books and support your local public library.
I think the people you run into is maybe one of the more interesting things about it, too. It is an event.
All those proceeds go to the Library Foundation, which will help support the library with future projects and resources and things that we couldn't afford in our regular budget.
Yeah.
That's what the foundation
Definitely
does for us,
definitely one of your best events just because of the people watching, too.
Yeah.
The people that like to come to this and hang out. Yeah, I'm sure you'll see village trustees. I'm sure you'll see the mayor there. I'm sure you'll see people that you've heard on this show before. Interesting people that you're gonna run into some folks at the Sip and Sample. So definitely get it, and I will make sure I get my ticket.
Woohoo!
I
There
will
we
be
go.
there. I will be at the Sip and Sample. I'm looking forward to it.
There we go. I've heard that before from Chris Lanuti, but I know this time this is for real.
Well, you know, there's a difference between you saying, "Hey, do you want to come out and help build we're going to build books out of Legos," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, Frank, I can't wait to go do that." Like, yeah, this one's up my alley. We'll be back with Frank Murray here just in a moment. He's also with the Chamber of Commerce, and I know he's got a list of things, especially a lot of stuff for kids, coming up at the library that we're going to get in before we are done with this episode of the EP podcast. But now my daughter, my eldest, is going to sit down here at the 9-Foot Homemade Oak Bar. Her name is Audrey. Hello, Audrey.
Hi, Dad.
I just wanted to make sure I introduced you to everybody. Everybody's heard you before because you're the voice at the beginning of all the shows that says the Broadcast Basement tagline.
Correct.
Like, you're that person. And what's funny is, and I've told this to people before, I recorded that back when you were little.
Yeah.
And then I used a filter to make your voice older. So now, and I think I got it pretty close.
You did get it pretty close to what it is now.
I think like when you hear the beginning, like you're listening to the Broadcast Basement On Demand Radio Network, she's like, I don't know, when did I start this thing? Back in, how old are you now? You're 18?
Yeah, I'm 18.
Okay, so we're 6 years. So I mean, she's 12. Right.
Yeah.
You don't sound the same at 12 as you do at 18.
No, my voice was much higher.
Right, exactly. And this is the magic of all the little buttons that Dad has down here, is that I was able to fix your voice. And I aged your voice artificially. That, everybody's worried about AI. You better worry about me. Look at what I can do in here. All right, so Audrey is in that magical time, and this is why I brought her in here, because I kind of want to follow her journey on the EP podcast. This is an Evergreen Park girl, born and raised, who is now 18 years old and in the magical time that is known as the last semester of high school, where you have a lot going on. You're going to have to prepare for prom. You're going to go to prom, right?
Yes, I'm going to go to prom.
Okay,
I'm just
planning on prom.
Not good with the picking out the dresses and all the
What
details.
about picking out the guys? We got one
Not
yet?
picking out the guys
Okay.
either.
All right. Still needs a date there, guys. Okay. But there's plenty of time for that. Okay. And then we're going to be on College Watch. We have to make a college decision.
Correct.
Right? Okay. And then it's just about maintaining, because listen to this schedule that this girl has. She has not only her lunch over at Mother Macaulay, but she has 2 study halls, not one, in her last semester of high school. Which
Yes.
is, who suggested that to you?
Brilliant.
Who came up with that?
You.
I came up
You
with
came
that.
up with that, but I didn't get a choice in where I was gonna end up getting those studies. Just
No,
thankfully my art classes were the previous semester, and I got 2 now.
It worked out for you. It did. It worked out for you. So you did your electives, and then suddenly you were like, "Oh, look at this! I don't have to go to school very much in my last semester."
And I get to leave early.
Yeah, you're ready for college already with this.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what
I
you
am.
are. You're ready for college already, because college is all about, like, making sure you got Friday off already, because you schedule all your classes.
Correct, of
right?
course.
Like finding like a midday, like hump day. I don't go to school. I roll out of bed at noon. Like as you get acclimated to it and you're scheduling your own classes, you'll figure out how to do this. And speaking of college, and again, we're going to check in with you from time to time over the next couple of months. If I asked you right now how many colleges you've been accepted to at this point. And my humble brag here is that she's an Illinois State scholar, folks. So her name was in the paper last week. So you've been accepted to pretty much everybody that you apply to.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So how many have you been accepted to?
I
Do you know?
believe it's been 8 at this point.
8. Okay. And then you've gotten a lot of scholarship money. And I'm not going to brag about the scholarship. I'll brag about it at some point, but she's basically getting scholarships at all the places she's getting to as well. And you don't play any sports. These are all academic scholarships.
No, these are all just what my grades are.
Check out the big
ACT
brain
scores
on
and stuff
Audrey.
like that.
Okay, so now you have to figure out where you want to go. Which one is the furthest away from here
The furthest away from here.
that you've been accepted to?
Like geographically,
Yeah.
or what I believe is the furthest
No.
away?
Well, which one do you? Well, wait, if you don't know, maybe you shouldn't be getting all these scholarships. If you can't figure this out,
My first choice was going to say Texas A&M.
right?
but,
Texas A&M, I would think, is the
but
furthest away.
Southern Florida University, even though it's like a smaller school, would technically be farther away.
You picked that one though because Dad's like, pick one of them that's on a beach just to do gen ed requirements for 2
Oh, of
years.
course.
Because that's what I would have done.
Yes.
But you're not really going to go there, are you?
No, I'm probably not going
Okay.
to go
All
there.
right. And Texas A&M, who wants to go there? It's like a wasteland out there. Like, we can go make a visit, but I mean, I don't know if you really want to go there. So those are the ones that are furthest away. And then you've got a couple of them that are really closer.
Yeah,
You
I
got
did.
IIT actually just
IIT,
took you.
they accepted me about a month ago, and I just did
you
not
didn't
see
even
the email.
notice it. And that was right there at University of Illinois at Chicago campus,
UIC?
Milwaukee School of Engineering has gotten you. So we're waiting on how many schools?
2.
2, and they are.
Purdue and U of I.
Okay, and these are the big ones. These are the ones you're waiting on.
Yeah, these are the
Right.
ones that just will
Are these
not
the
come
ones that
out.
immediately trump Alabama, Louisville, Texas A&M, all the other ones, if you can get one of those two?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay.
And they're both completely different the way that I applied to them.
It all really matters in the end, though, is how much money it's going to cost.
Oh, yeah.
It's all.
See, that's where the fast food comes in,
So
of
your
course.
number one choice is
U of I.
okay. And of the schools you currently have been accepted to, which one excites you the most? Are you most intrigued by?
I got 2.
Which ones?
So UIC,
You're gonna live in my house still?
I don't think I would plan to live in your
You don't want?
house.
No,
but
it's expensive to live on that campus. Its space is limited.
I know, that's why it's like intriguing. I didn't say I was going to go there.
Yeah, okay. And what's the other one?
All right, and then Louisville.
Oh, I like that. The bourbon trail's down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dad and all of his friends will be visiting regularly if you're down in Louisville.
Of
All right, well,
course.
we got to visit that one. And what are you going into again? Tell everybody.
Architecture.
Architecture. All right, so we're going to follow the young aspiring architect from time to time, not every week. Don't worry about it. But I thought this would be kind of interesting to watch because I'm going to tell you something, kiddo. This is the best. I mean, like I was telling you this the other day.
Yeah, you
like
were.
you were stressed out about something stupid, and I was like, whoa, if I could find, if somebody sat there and said, come up with the top 5 6-month periods or so of your life, at least one of those 5, and I don't know where it would rank, would be this end of high school.
Oh, yeah.
With all the cool stuff you do, the anticipation of the next step, the fun of the summer after you graduate, the really, I don't feel like there's a lot of pressure generally, at least I didn't feel it, Okay, you don't feel it. There might be other kids that are feeling it. I don't know, but I mean, like you're kind of like, this was I would go back and say this was kind of a cool time. Like you will 30 years from now, when you're old like Dad, and I'm decrepit and living in your basement. Okay,
no, you'll be in your own residential suite.
Oh, I get someplace on the compound.
Of course, you get somewhere nice.
You aim high, sweetheart, because I got no plans. Okay, but you aim high and make sure Dad's got a guest house. Okay,
of course.
But
on a beach.
You will look back. You will look every time a song comes on from this era in time. You will remember this time period. Okay. All of it. I'm telling you right now, when you tell a story about where you went to college, you will flash back to the time period when you decided on that school and over something else. Okay. This little time period here, you will remember. So I just think it's cool that the little girl that you've been listening to since she was 12 years old introduced this podcast. 18 now, an adult. I have to constantly remind her that if she doesn't listen to me, she's got to pay room and board. And now the big decision will be following Audrey's journey. Are you ready for it? Will you promise me that you'll chill out and relax and enjoy it? Please?
Sure. Maybe.
Building relationships, supporting the community, and service. These are the things that Country Financial stands for. They're more than just an office you may pass by as you drive through Evergreen Park. They're neighbors who lend a helping hand and support the fabric of your community, including charitable organizations, sports, financial education, and civic organizations. And since Country is already your neighbor, they want to get together and chat. Call your local Country Financial representative, Mike Thauer, today at 708-425-1559 to talk about the things that are important to you and how he can help you protect them. Frank Murray is also the president of the Evergreen Park Chamber of Commerce.
I will correct you. I'll just jump
You're
in.
Out?
Past president.
You're out.
Past president.
What happened?
My 1 year is up.
1 year?
1 year.
No.
Yeah, my reign of terror is over.
Nikki Seidel, who was your predecessor, did it for 3 straight, told me this was a 3-year position. You
3-year position?
You did 1 year?
I got out of that, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was 1 year.
So you're out. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. Who's in now?
It was actually, we had lined up Stephanie Welch of Humana.
Okay.
And unfortunately, Stephanie passed away last month.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yes.
And you were like, that's awful, but I'm still not doing it. You're the worst.
I know, right? I'm wonderful. No, I'm obviously there to help out, and we have the rest of the chamber board that's going to be assisting, but we're going to be finding a replacement. We wanted to...
I'll run it for you. I'll step in. I'll be the president.
There we go. Chris
what do you
Lanuti,
have to do?
Ladies and gentlemen.
What do you have to do?
Oh, boy.
Do you get a check?
That's a whole nother podcast.
Do they pay you for it?
No.
No? Then I don't want to do it. Because you looked really busy. After a year of doing it, what did it feel like after doing it? I mean, just honestly, like you did it.
Yeah.
You were part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to the end of it. When you got to the end of it, was it like, okay, I did that? Was it absolute relief because I know it's stressful. Like Sarah Klein from AAA did it. And I remember she would come down here and talk all the time. And I was like, she looks overwhelmed by the whole thing. Yeah, so
I replaced Sarah.
Right. And so when you get to the end of being the president of the Chamber of Commerce, are you kind of like, whew, like one of those things?
It is, yes, because, it's almost like a second job on top of your other job.
Right.
But what I loved about it the most was getting to meet a whole unique set of people, the business side of people of Evergreen Park. Being involved in the library, I get to meet a lot of our residents. And then just living in the community, get to meet neighbors and everything. But I never really got to meet a lot of our business owners. And that's one of the things, one of the opportunities I got to be a part of. I got to do a lot of some neat ribbon cuttings, welcoming in various businesses.
Did they do the ribbon cutting at the Subaru dealership while you were there?
Yeah, we had that, what was that, early December?
Yeah. Are you taking credit for that?
No.
You're like, I was the president of the Chamber of Commerce when the car dealership came? Is that something you're doing?
Yeah, big thanks to the village for getting them to come in, and then me just reaping the benefits of the Chamber of Commerce. Hey, wait.
Do the ribbon cutting.
There's actually, I was joking around with Mayor Burke. There's a really great picture. I think it's on the Beverly Review. You can go on their website and check it out. But everyone, like the Subaru owners of the dealership they're holding the scissors and the ribbon. And Mayor Burke and I are saying, everyone is smiling, huge smiles. And there I am, staring down at the ribbon, thinking like, oh, like what is this material made of? And I'm the only goofball that's like not smiling and excited, and I'm like looking down at the ribbon.
You're like, can we retake this? Anyone?
Yeah.
I'm the president of the chamber. Like,
you didn't get a better picture?
Everybody else is smiling,
Yeah.
pictured with head down.
Pretty much what it was. Yeah, that's the caption right there.
That's amazing. Yeah. That's great. Well, it is interesting to meet all the people that are working in the village, and I do think that the chamber does a pretty good job of trying to get people to kind of get together and talk to each other and stuff like that. And now that you've gotten out of it. Okay. I mean, I know you're going to be helping out and stuff, but you're not the president. Now you've gotten out of it. What do you think about it? Like long term, do you think it's going to grow? Do you think, because I feel like there's some businesses that aren't part of it. That I think I heard every president that's been in there say, we've got to find a way to bring these people in. So
exactly.
What do you think about the future of it?
Well, you hit the nail on the head there, Chris. Involvement with any community organization is how it grows and makes your community better, right? We need everybody to be involved, whether it's just being a member to coming out for an event or partnering with another local organization to work together to better your community. That involvement is key. And that's the thing. How can we get more people involved, or maybe they might not even know about it and all the resources that we offer to our chamber members. So that's the one. That's one of the things I am like most regretful of my time as president. I wanted to get out there and engage more of our business owners that aren't already a part of the chamber.
Nah, you're too busy wasting time on the EP podcast.
That's right. I could be out there meeting people right now. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Sid Sauce is a really cool small business here in Evergreen Park where the peppers that they're growing to make the incredible hot sauces are being grown in your neighbors' backyards all throughout the village. And then they make a wide array of different hot sauces, bottle them up, and deliver them to your door for free. See what they have to offer? Pick a few out. SidSauce.net. I realize that Frank has not gotten a chance to talk about very many events at the library, so this week's Word on the Street is all Frank and the EP Public Library. What else do you have over there, Frank Murray?
What else do we have going on at the library? Chris, I believe I mentioned this last time as just a precursor to everybody, but it's official now. Auto renewals are taking place. You check out an item, your item's automatically renewed if you don't return it on time.
Yeah.
So you get eligible items can be renewed up to 2 times as long as there are no holds on the item. If there's a hold on the item, it's got to come back.
Frank has created a system where you get to keep the book longer and he doesn't have to look at your face.
You know what? I wish I could take credit for the system. I can't. It's our Swan Consortium.
He's like, I'm so tired of these people walking in here just to renew books. Just do it automatically.
You know what?
Right.
Yeah, it's a nice little customer service.
I like it.
I'm
just giving you a hard time.
I know you are, but I'm going to explain. I'm going to explain myself too. But yeah, we're looking forward to it. And even the library director collects fines.
Yeah.
And
but then all you do is you wait for fine forgiveness, right? Isn't that in the summer? You do it every year. You do fine forgiveness?
Yeah, we try to do it a couple times a year.
Right. So if you get a fine, just wait for fine forgiveness. That's what I would be doing.
You know what's funny is we actually had a patron say that, and I wonder if he was listening to the podcast. Because I had one of my staff.
They're going to do it, folks. Like,
my staff
no, I owe the library $3. I'll wait till July.
I think they even offered to renew the items for this person, and they were like, no, because you guys will do a fine forgiveness day, and I'll just okay, fine, whatever. But that's not the point.
I'm ruining your whole system.
You need to make sure you have an active library card in good standing, folks.
Okay.
That's what it's all about.
All right.
And then in other awesome stuff going on, we have our winter reading book challenge for the kids, Cozy Up with a Good Book. That's going on from January 2nd to February 6th. It's for grades 5 and under. You can register online and log your time you spend reading using the Bean Stack app. We got a whole tons of different prizes. We have super cool STEAM. It's every Thursday, January 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th at 3:45 p.m. It's for grades K through 5. Each week, we're going to dive into different STEAM topics from animals to engineering and do interactive experiments and activities.
STEAM is
science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
There you go.
And then we have a Sensory Sunday, January 14th at 1:30 to 3 p.m. It's drop-in, ages 5 and below with a caregiver. Get to roll up your sleeves. You're ready for some fun sensory play activities. Like usually we have one of those blow-up pools.
Oh, okay.
And it's filled with like either water beads or sand or something so the kids can get in there and experience all the different senses that they...
The kids like this.
Love it.
Now I want a pool where I can stick my hands inside something that has like a bunch of grains of something so I can get my senses going.
There we go.
See, I'm jealous now.
There we go.
You need an adult sensory.
We might
day.
have to do an adult sensory Sunday. Maybe
do it
adult
right
sensory Saturday.
Do it right after the sip and sample.
Here.
Let all of those that drink a little bit too much climb into the pool for a little sensory action.
Or, hey, take out the garbage. There, throw it in the dumpster. There's your sensory experience right there. We're also hosting a family game night Wednesday, January 17th at 6:30 p.m.
Oh, that's trouble. Mm-hmm. No, that's trouble. Families
trouble. Yeah,
no, but
the game.
Families get competitive on game nights. How many times have you done a game night before?
Come on, I have a 7-year-old and a 10-year-old.
No, but at the library.
At the library,
How often do you do this?
At least once a quarter.
How often do you see an argument amongst a family?
0.
Oh, come on now. Really? Come on now.
Well,
we outlawed Monopoly in my house because people were like ready to kill each other.
Yes.
Okay.
Better in public. It's probably safer for you guys to come to the library and play Monopoly.
Yeah.
Less likely of an outburst.
Less likely of an outburst for that one family member that just can't take a loss.
So the Lanutis will be bringing Monopoly and trouble. But we have a whole bunch of games at the library people can use, or bring your own game. Share the fun. We're going to have a Minecraft night too for grades 3 through 6. That's going to be Tuesday, January 23rd at 6:30 p.m. Creep on over to the library for an evening of Minecraft.
Minecraft's in trouble, man. You know what the next thing is? What they did with this Fortnite. Have you noticed this? You got kids that play the Fortnite?
No, not yet.
Lego combined with Fortnite.
Oh, really?
They have an entire Lego world. All the rules are essentially the same as Minecraft. So like my son was explaining it to me, and I was like, this is just like Minecraft. He's like, oh, it's almost like a carbon copy. I'm like, Minecraft's going to sue them. And he's like, well, I don't care. But I mean, like, it's the new thing now.
It's the new thing.
It's the new thing. Watch out for it. They're coming for those Minecraft dollars.
You might, in the spring or the summer, we might have
you might have to do Lego Fortnite. Yeah.
Night.
I'm telling you, it's the next thing with the kids.
And then we have the last event for our kids. It's coming up in, actually, it's very early February, so I probably won't be here to promote it, but Saturday, February 3rd, which is actually National Take Your Child to the Library Day. We're having local musician Jinsey Harton coming and performing at 2 p.m. We're actually going to make an event out of it, so we're going to have snacks and crafts from 1 to 4 p.m. Jinsey will be there at 2 p.m. to perform. It's for grades 5 and under, and every child will receive a new book.
You know, you got to have plans for National Take Your Child to the Library Day if you have a library. So, yeah.
And to be quite honest, Chris, I'm a librarian. I've been a librarian for 15 so years.
Yeah.
Did not know this existed until this year. It's traditionally National Library Week is in April. So I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah. And then, yeah. So props to Laura Meyer, our youth services librarian, who actually knows that there's She's
doing her job over there. At least somebody is.
Somebody
is.
Yeah.
It's the EP Podcast. All things Evergreen Park. It's the EP Podcast. Evergreen Park.